Chapter 11. Devastated by Matahachi's letter, Atsu unleashes her anguish inside the temple, destroying everything in her path. The priest approaches cautiously, asking what devastating news the letter contained. Through tears, Atsu reveals its contents to him. Seeing her pain, the priest pulls her into an embrace. But Atsu, misunderstanding his intentions, drives her fist into his stomach and flees. The priest, gasping, insists he meant no harm. Meanwhile, Atsu begins ringing the temple's massive bell, calling out for Matahachi in desperation. Elsewhere, Takezō fights naked against captain soldiers, defeating them one by one with savage intensity. The villains watch in terror as this wild warrior dispatches their men. Suddenly, Takezō retreats into a house. Some soldiers foolishly pursue him into the darkness. Within moments, Takezō hurls their bodies back outside and emerges himself, now fully clothed. He warns the remaining soldiers. He told them he'd kill them all. Captain watches Takezō's fighting style with grudging admiration, noting how this man doesn't hesitate to take lives to preserve his own. But he wonders, how long can Takezō continue? Eventually, exhaustion will claim him, and then death will follow. As Takezō systematically defeats the soldiers, Captain Aoki sits lost in thought, wondering if Takezō will tire first, and what expression of fear he'll wear when he realizes his end has come. Takezō reaches the captain and strikes his shoulder with his wooden sword, sending him crashing to the ground unconscious. He looks at Osugi, declaring her son unreliable. Suddenly, a soldier attacks from behind at lightning speed, the blade slicing Takezō's arm. Takezō drops the soldier with a single blow, continuing his relentless assault. The villagers cry demon. Takezō tells them to move aside so they can escape. An old villager stands his ground, asking if Takezō feels no shame for dragging the Miyamoto village's name through the mud. Osugi declares she'll kill him here and now, before he can disgrace the village further. The other villagers join in cursing him. Using this distraction, one villager grabs Takezō's sword. Seizing the opportunity, Captain Aoki's soldiers charge forward. Takezō evades their attack, but the soldier's spear pierces a villager holding him instead. In one fluid motion, Takezō grabs a soldier's head and slams it into the ground with crushing force. He defeats all the soldiers alone. The villagers begin chanting demon, blood visible in his eyes. Takezō seems to relish their fear. He shoves through them and flees. Running far from the village, exhausted, his feet catch on a piece of wood that trips him. The wood was placed there deliberately. A man appears, asking if Takezō is a deer or wild boar. Whatever he is, his body may be large, but his heart is tiny. This man is a monk named Takuan. Chapter 12. Takuan observes that while Takezō appears massive, his heart is as small as a cat's. Takezō demands to know who he is. Takuan points out that soldiers are pursuing him even here. Doesn't he want to escape? Takezō declares it makes no difference that he's a monk. He'll kill him too. Takuan asks if Takezō is running away, knowing full well that touching him means death. He continues. Takezō always thinks of killing, always ready to fight, creating distance from everyone. He's distanced himself from others because he fears them. Ultimately, he's the weakest person in this village. Confused, Takezō struggles to understand Takuan's words. Soldiers spot him. Takezō dives into the bushes as they approach Takuan with Osugi, asking if he's seen Takezō. Takuan deliberately points them in the wrong direction. Hidden in the bushes, Takezō watches. He tells Takuan he doesn't know who he is, doesn't need his help, and soldiers can never catch him. You've done me no favor. Hearing this, Takuan immediately tells the soldiers Takezō's real location. Takezō bursts from the bushes and runs. Takuan laughs at the scene. The next day, efforts to capture Takezō intensify. Troops arrive from Himeji Castle, and villagers receive orders to search the mountains with bamboo staves. Despite these efforts, Takezō remains elusive. At the temple, the priest drinks sake, contemplating that if he fails to capture Takezō, he must commit suicide. He thinks of Atsu, telling the priest she's avoiding him. Sake tastes bland without her. The priest promises to find her. Atsu sits beneath a tree, crying as she crushes a pot. Takwon appears before her, informing her people are searching for her. She says she doesn't care. She doesn't like the captain anyway. He sits drinking all day. That fool will never catch Takezō. After this, Takwon asks her to come with him. Takwon has learned from Otsu that the three of them, Otsu, Matahachi, and Takezō, are childhood friends. Otsu begins crying in Matahachi's memory. Takwon brings Otsu directly to the captain and declares that such a fool who drinks all day cannot possibly catch Takezō. He asks how many more days and men they need just to capture one man. The leaders are fed up with their incompetence. Hearing Takwon's words, Otsu is shocked and the captain grows furious. He raises his sword, threatening to cut Takwon down. But Takwon doesn't stop provoking him. Someone like the captain could never cut him. Meanwhile, Takezō hides exhausted in the mountains, hungry and tired. He recalls the villagers calling him Demon Beast. How they want him dead. It doesn't matter what villagers say about him. He only came to tell Otsu that Matahachi is alive. Takwon's words echo. Takezō is the weakest person in the village. As he ponders this, a samurai drops from above, attacking with a blade. Takezō blocks the strike, falling to the ground. He demands to know who this attacker is. He's not one of the villagers. The samurai introduces himself. Everyone wants Takezō dead, and killing him will end this game. His name is Tsuchike's Kohei, and he's come from Hoki. Chapter 13. Kohei releases his sword and punches Takezō's face viciously. Takezō, seeing a sharp wooden stick nearby, smiles and drives it into Kohei's thigh. Kohei immediately retreats. As Takezō rises, Kohei attacks again. Takezō blocks with his hand, the shuriken embedded in his palm. Kohei notes the shuriken aren't poisoned. Takezō asks if he's come to avenge his brother. Kohei rapidly spins his sword, slicing Takezō's hand slightly. He dodges Takezō's counterattack, saying it's perfect. When Takezō dies, no one will even cry. He'll meet the same end as those he killed. Takezō attacks, but Kohei evades. Kohei reveals he didn't come to avenge his brother. He wanted to kill his brother himself, but Takezō did it first. Now he must kill Takezō instead. He philosophizes. Perhaps Takezō will live another 20 to 30 years, then die. Everyone's song ends the same way. Using smoke as cover, Takezō strikes Kohei with his wooden sword. Blood flows from Kohei's head as he retreats. A soldier spots Takezō and alerts everyone. Kohei flees. Soldiers surround Takezō from all sides, ready to fight. Takezō prepares himself, questioning his own existence. Why has he lived in this world for 17 years? He defeats soldiers one by one. When one attacks from behind, Takezō spins and splits his skull with a wooden sword. He shows no signs of surrendering. Chapter 14. Takezō has slaughtered all the soldiers. Corpses surround him. He reflects. It doesn't matter what his future holds. People fear him and want him dead. He's killed many, and eventually, he'll die the same way. That's just how it will be at the temple. Takwon still sits calmly while the captain holds his sword, demanding Takwon repeat himself. Otsu watches nervously. Takwon says he'll speak slower, so the captain can hear properly. Otsu tries to silence Takwon, covering his mouth, telling the captain that Takwon always speaks foolishly. Don't take him seriously. Takwon removes her hand, insisting Otsu shouldn't hide the truth from the captain. If he doesn't know, he needs to be told. The captain, sword raised, demands how Takwon dares insult him. Takwon continues. He can't believe they let Takezō go. They had to abandon their work to hunt Takezō without pay. Completely wrong. They need to earn their security, and Takezō is a wild beast. Are they really risking their lives for village security? He suggests Otsu should go to the mountain to capture Takezō herself. The captain sputters, but Takwon interrupts. He knows it's dangerous for a woman to go alone into the mountains, so he'll accompany her. The captain protests, but Takwon asks if he still wants to be served sake by Otsu. He theatrically calls, Otsu, Otsu, while the priests stand concerned in the background, and young monks struggle not to laugh. Takwon declares that no matter how hard the captain tries, one look at Otsu's face reveals she doesn't like him at all. The captain's eyes bulge with rage. Takwon approaches. asking if he'll actually use that sword or not. The priest, who's been listening outside, rushes in just as the captain swings, the blade narrowly missing Takwon's hand. Hearing Takwon's name, the captain freezes in shock. Takwon laughs, advising the captain to be careful spinning sword around. He'll only cut grass, nothing more. The captain's mind races. Is this the Takwon, the close friend of Lord Masa of Imeji Castle? Takwon continues lecturing about devotion to the Lord and charity to the people. These two things make one worthy of the captain's position. The captain realizes this must be that Takwon. Takwon keeps mocking. Doesn't he care about the villagers? No concern for people's suffering? Just wants beautiful girls serving him sake? He's nothing but a perverted failure who couldn't catch Takezō. His only option now is seppuku. Takwon asks Otsu if she fears Takezō. Otsu remembers him and says she doesn't fear him. Takwon tells the captain that perhaps Otsu can save his neck, because only she can capture Takezō. Chapter 15. After this incident, Matahachi's mother, Osugi, is arrested. The granny asks a villager why she's been arrested. The villagers explain that Takwon and Otsu promised Captain Aoki they'd capture Takezō within 3 days, and if they fail, Takwon will hang from the tree in front of the temple. The villagers don't believe it's possible since they failed for many days. Osugi wonders why Otsu is involved in this mess. Granny asks why she made such a promise. Where is she? Takwon climbs atop a pile of corpses, the very corpses of those Takezō killed. Takwon prays over them. When Otsu learns these deaths are Takezō's doing, she prays for Takezō's forgiveness. Night falls as they search for Takezō. Takwon has made stew for dinner. Otsu brings wild greens for it. Smoke rises from the cooking. In the distance, Takezō watches, exhausted and starving. Takwon and Otsu eat, and he asks why she's troubled. Does she want to talk? Otsu begins crying, telling Takwon about Matahachi. She says it's good this all happened before their wedding. Takwon asks if she loved Matahachi. What did she like about him? Otsu explains. When they were children, Takezō didn't bond with anyone. People called him Wild Beast. He rarely came down from the mountain. One day, a swordsman named Arima Kihei came to the village, traveling from village to village seeking strong opponents. He challenged anyone who thought themselves strongest to fight him. Takezō, then 13 years old, accepted. In that fight, Takezō killed Kihei. After this incident, people distanced themselves even more from Takezō. Only Matahachi remained his friend. That's why she liked Matahachi. Takwon asks if she fears Takezō too. She agrees and begins to cry. Takwon finds it strange. She likes Matahachi because he remained Takezō's friend. Saying this, Takwon suddenly vomits, blaming too much salt in the stew. Otsu laughs. He tells her not to be embarrassed. They're in the mountains, and besides, who are they? Just then, Takezō stands before them. Chapter 16. Otsu is laughing, but hearing Takezō's name, she grows serious. Takezō now stands before them. Takwon observes that Takezō is exhausted, barely able to stand. Everything looks blurry to Takezō. He can barely speak. He asks what she's doing here. Takwon states they've come to capture him. Takezō draws his wooden sword defensively. He remembers. People called him Devil Beast and Monster. People only wanted to kill him. Even Matahachi left him. He's seen people die by his own hands. He's seen himself crying. Otsu stands before him. And Takezō asks if she's also come to kill him. Without hesitation, she runs and embraces him. Otsu tells him about Matahachi's letter. Recalling their childhood, she says she's been abandoned again. Hearing this, Takezō's wooden sword falls from his hand. Takwon thinks. Otsu is the only one who could capture Takezō alive. He considers lecturing her, but stops. He thinks of capturing Takezō himself. He's very weak now, easy to capture. But he stops that too, because Otsu's already succeeded. Takezō collapses unconscious in Otsu's arms. Thus, Takwon and Otsu capture Takezō. Chapter 17. Takwon brings Takezō to the village. Seeing him, villagers begin throwing stones. When Takezō regains consciousness, he finds himself tied to a tree. Crows perch on branches above. as if waiting for his death. Takezō sees Takwon and asks why he didn't just kill him. "Don't fear so much," Takwon advises. Takezō looks at the crows, awaiting his death. He thinks, kill or be killed. Kill people in battle or die. That's what he is, and he's always been ready for his death. Rain begins to fall. Otsu wants to visit Takezō, but Takwon stops her, advising her not to go outside. He knows if Otsu goes out, she won't be able to stop herself from freeing Takezō. She's sad, feeling she captured Takezō through deception. Takwon tells her Takezō doesn't think that way about her. Takezō hangs drenched in rain as Otsu arrives. Seeing her makes him happy. Osugi accuses Takezō of being responsible for her family's ruin and dishonor because Takezō spread false rumors that Matahachi ran away with another woman to another province. Osugi vows to find out herself if Matahachi is alive or dead. She tells Takezō she wants to watch him die and will come every day for that purpose. The next day, Osugi comes to check on Takezō. She thinks he's dead. Standing beneath him, Takezō urinates. It falls on Osugi. She throws a stone at him, saying she thought he was already dead. Takezō thinks, let Takwon come quickly and kill him, ending the spectacle. More crows gather around him, signaling his approaching death. Another day passes with Takezō hanging from the tree. Night falls. He wonders how he reached this state. He recalls Takwon's words. He's the weakest person in this village. He thinks it's not true. He never lost a single fight. He just wanted to become strong. He remembers his past. His mother saying she's not his mother. He was going to meet his mother to show her how big he'd grown. His mother refused to see him, telling him to go to his father. Takezō thought, I must become strong. So strong that I won't be weak. He remembers his battles. He wanted to become invincible in the entire world. He just wanted to be invincible. Chapter 18. Night continues. Takezō still hangs from the tree. Otsu sneaks out to bring him food, explaining she's brought him a meal. She tries to feed him using a stick with food attached. She tells him Takwon forbade her from freeing him. If he doesn't eat, he'll die. In his mind, Takezō tells her not to go through such trouble. Otsu tries to feed him, but accidentally hits his head with the stick, and the food falls. Takwon emerges half asleep. Seeing him, Otsu promises Takezō she'll return tomorrow and flees. Takezō curses Takwon, demanding he just kill him already. The next day, Osugi checks if Takezō has died yet. He hasn't. This time, Otsu accompanies her. Osugi tells Otsu to leave this temple and become Haneden family's daughter-in-law, living with them. She shouldn't forget they took pity on her. Takwon asks Osugi who will marry when Matahachi isn't here. She insists Matahachi will return. Osugi tells Otsu how she raised her, an orphan, wanting her to become a Haneden family member, living with them. Otsu considers this but declines. She tells Osugi she'll never forget their kindness, but she cannot become part of the Haneden family. She hates Matahachi. He betrayed her. Therefore, she cannot become part of his family. Hearing this, Osugi becomes furious and begins hitting Otsu. She demands to know who truly betrayed whom. She tells Otsu she'll pay dearly for this. Osugi leaves. Night falls. Takwon comes to see Takezō, who goes mad, demanding why he won't kill him. Just kill him. But Takwon observes, if Takezō still has this much energy, he should conserve it or he'll die. Takezō asks why he won't give him a warrior's death. He doesn't fear dying. Takwon suggests if Takezō is tired of looking at others' deaths, why not look within himself? Takezō curses Takwon, saying there's nothing inside him but darkness. Then he sees Otsu has brought food again. She tells him to open his mouth. She'll feed him rice. Otsu's stick approaches Takezō's mouth, but strikes his eye instead, spilling rice on the ground. Otsu promises tomorrow she'll definitely feed him properly. Chapter 19. Another day. Takezō still hangs alive from the tree, covered with crows. If he thinks he deserves to live, then he's selfish. All the people he killed had lives too, good or bad. Each person is born on this earth and grows up. Some make families, some live alone. Some have children, some marry, and some don't. Some keep animals. Some people have big dreams. Some have no desires. He destroyed all of that. He killed them. What right does he have to decide the time and place of his own death? That he deserves an honorable rebel's death? What does he think about himself? He takes others' lives to save his own, yet wants an honorable death? He's just selfish. Rain begins again, falling heavily. Takezō tries to drink the rainwater. Takuan's words echo. Invincible, one whom no one can equal, the strongest on all the earth. He remembers his past again, his father asking if he also wants to become invincible. Can he even cut himself? Takezō picks up a sword, telling himself he has no such intention. His father tells him only one person can become invincible. He orders Takezō to attack him. Takuan reveals that Takezō has Musashi's blood. He'll grow strong and eventually become a threat to his own father. His father asks, "Shall I kill you?" Saying this, he attacks Takezō from above. The sword grazes Takezō's face, cutting hair from his head. Takezō doesn't move. His father observes. Look, he didn't even flinch. Takezō stands frozen. His father says there's nothing surprising. Of course people call Takezō Demon's Child. Returning to the present, Takezō cries, hanging from the tree. The tree is covered with countless crows. The entire tree seems filled with them. Atop the tree stands Tsuchike's Kohei. He asks Takezō how he's still alive. Hanging from this tree. Chapter 20. Hanging from the tree, soaked by rain, covered in mud, moldering in the sun. How is he alive? He lives as if he has something great to accomplish. But day by day, he grows filthier and more pathetic. Kohei says if heaven and hell truly exist, a murderer like Takezō will go to hell. They'll both go to hell, but he'll send Takezō there first. He cuts Takezō's rope and prepares to kill him when he notices Takuan's presence and flees. Kohei wonders who that was, whose mere gaze forced him to retreat. Osugi comes to check on Takezō as usual. He's not visible on the tree. Neither is Takezō himself. Puzzled, she runs to the temple, asking the working monk about Takuan and Otsu. She checks the temple rooms. No one is there. She thinks Takezō can't die so easily. Could he have escaped? In another room, Otsu hides, listening to everything. The priest approaches Osugi, who asks about Takezō. She suspects they let Takezō go. The priest tells Osugi that Takezō is dead. When the rope broke, he fell hard to the ground and died instantly. Perhaps he was already dead from weakness before falling. Osugi demands to see Takezō's body. The priest grows nervous, explaining Takezō's body was taken away by Himeji Castle officials since he was a military criminal. Osugi tells the priest he's lying through his teeth. She examines a rope, clearly cut with a blade, not broken. She understands Takuan won't show her Takezō's body, which means only one thing: he's still alive. She declares that Takuan and his accomplices let Takezō go. Otsu listens to all this from the other room. Takuan carries Takezō on his back into the mountains. Chapter 21. Takuan has brought Takezō to a peak where the entire Miyamoto village is visible. Takezō has decided to die at this place. Takuan gives him water to drink. Takezō tells him to just kill him. Takuan asks if that's truly his wish. He observes that darkness has consumed Takezō's face. Even his eyes are very dark. Alone and in pain, alone. Takezō tells him he doesn't want to hear this nonsense. Takuan continues. Takezō killed many people, and in the end he wants to die the same way. Is that his wish? He asks. If Takezō has done everything he wanted in life, why isn't he smiling at death? Why is there no smile on his face? Grabbing Takezō's face, he says he should be happy. What is he leaving behind? He should shout and proudly proclaim he killed everyone around him, and now he'll die the same way. Shout that a monk who only talks nonsense should say he lived a good life. His life was very fulfilling. Takezō tells Takuan to just kill him. Takuan begins beating him, shouting, "You're dead! If you're so satisfied with your life, why can't you proclaim it?" Takezō asks if Takuan calls himself a monk. Takuan admits he's a very foolish monk. Takezō struggles to stand. He approaches a large nearby rock and begins smashing his head against it repeatedly. He cries out, "Why was I born? just to be abandoned and ignored, for everyone to fear me and hate me, because I'm a demon son worthy only of death? Why was I born into this world at all? Takezō continues smashing his head when Takwon suddenly stops him, asking, will you end your life like this? Will you destroy everything? Will you destroy your old self too? Takezō remembers his past, his childhood, the songs with Matahachi, the battles. Takwon asks, is a life of bloodshed truly worth living? No, such a life is not for you. Hearing this, Takezō begins weeping. He asks, is it true that I'm worthy of living? Takwon cuts his ropes, freeing him. He tells Takezō, those who've never known darkness don't know light either. Endure, only then will light enter your life. Just then, Atsu appears. Takezō calls out her name as she runs toward him. And here, Volume 2 ends.